Hey everyone, it's David Mendel here with Valley Premier Team, my home group.
And I'm Brogan, McGuire, Caliber Home Loans.
And today we are talking about the very, very basics of budgeting. First question for you, why do I need a budget? I mean, what's the point of having a budget? And I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but the reality is most people have never budgeted. So if you're part of that majority, don't feel bad. The answer is pretty clear, but a lot of people are apprehensive about budgeting because they think that a budget will limit the fun they can have, limit what they can spend on. But I want this new pair of jeans, or I want that brand new car, or I want different things. And wants are absolutely fine. The purpose of the budget is not just to limit what you're spending, but in fact, put you in control of your money. Because the reality is that either you are in control of your money or it is in control of you. You're either making proactive decisions or you're responding to the debt that we've all encountered in this life.
It's a great point. I think you touched on there, proactive versus reactive with your money. And really the simplest way to look at that is how much money do you have coming in every month, on your paycheck, whatever it may be, and how much money do you have leaving on every month?
Right.
Bills, mortgage, rent, car payment, utilities, whatever it may be. And the simplest form of budgeting, everybody tries to make it really complicated, is really just finding out what the difference is between those two.
Now that you've determined, okay, we need to start, we want to begin this process, where do we start? I would suggest starting first and foremost by listing out your income. What sources of income do you have? What monies are currently coming in? And then make a list of your debts. Just sit down and write them down. It doesn't have to be real fancy. It can just be on a notepad to begin with. Now, if you want to be a little more elaborate, be a little more organized, look online. There are a ton of resources that you can find for actual budgets where it'll itemize for you different examples. And I think that's a good idea, but just to begin, list out what you have coming in, what you have going out. And then ask yourself, what is it that I want to save for? Is it a new car fund because my car has been giving me a lot of trouble, it's always in the shop, I'm spending too much money on it? Is it well, no, I really want to upgrade my lifestyle. I want to move. I want to own a home, or I just want to move into a different neighborhood, a different area. I want to be closer to work, or maybe your work dynamic has changed. You're working from home. Maybe I need a new computer. Although if it's for work, they shouldn't pay for that. I'm just saying. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what it is. Just determine what it is that you need. So when we're talking about debt, there's actually good debt and bad debt. Good debt are things like investments, things that you're committed to that you have to pay, but that will benefit you, like a home. If you own a home, you're always going to pay to live somewhere, unless you're living in your mom's basement. Please stop that now. No, but
not a great investment.
No. So you're always going to pay to live somewhere. So you're either paying for yourself or you're paying for someone else. If you're living in a rental, you're paying someone else's mortgage, helping them to build their future. If you're paying for your own home, even if you still owe money on it, that is debt, but you're working toward your own future. You're working toward your own retirement, your own investment, and that's a very good place to be.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. And I think the biggest thing to take away from that is, okay, where do you need to prioritize what to spend or what to do with that difference between those two? And if that means you're going to put $150 a month into a new car fund or into a retirement account, all of those are detractors, if you will, from the money you have at the end of the month. But if at the end of the day they're going to make you more money, then it's an investment and not necessarily a liability or a debt. So you have to look at it bigger picture versus just what's going to make me the most money right now, or what can I get with what can I spend to get that thing that I want. Right. So thinking of it as a more of a 5 to 10 year, 20-year plan versus just living in the moment can help put those things in better perspective for you. And
Brogan, that's a really good point. But let me add something to that as well. I've tried to coach a lot of people, and I have coached a lot of people through their own budgeting. And one of the most common objections that I get from people is, but I have a specific amount of income. I don't have all the money in the world. I can't save an extra $500 a month for something. And that's true for most people. But the reality is you don't need to. Pennies add up, dollars add up. You can take money from one area and put it into another. If you say, hey, I'm going to make a sacrifice and I'm going to get one less coffee a week and just put that $6, is coffee like $6? That's ridiculous. But anyway,
10, yeah.
So I'm going to put that money toward this fund. If you do that in a couple of areas, you start to realize and recognize that your money goes further than you think it does. And we're not going to talk about more advanced things like compounding interest and other investment benefits or techniques that kind of come later on. But the very basics are, understand this: every penny counts. So you don't have to have a tremendous amount of income to begin building a tremendous amount of wealth. But you do have to start.
Exactly. I think something to just put that into a little bit more perspective is you mentioned the $6 cup of coffee, which honestly is kind of a cheap cup of coffee these days, at least in Phoenix. So say you're spending $10 a month or $10 a week on coffee. That's fairly reasonable. Probably a low shot for a lot of people. If you're going to Starbucks every day, that could be $30 to $50 a week. Let's just say 10. That alone, if you just cut $10 a week out of your budget, it's $520 a year. What could you do with an extra $520 at the end of the year? I know it doesn't sound like much, but over 10 years, that's $5,200. And so on and so forth. So, you see what he's saying there, where, like you said, the little pennies really do add up and can make a massive, massive difference in the long run, which we'll definitely touch on in another video.
Okay. So, question for you then. So tell everyone on the interweb here. What are the tools? Like, how do you start? What do you do when you're saying, okay, you know what, guys, you've convinced me that I need to start budgeting. I understand the benefit of it. I want to plan for my future. How do I start? What do I do?
That's a great point. Yeah, and there's a lot of different avenues for this. And there's a million free tools out there. There's budgeting apps that'll, you can go in and manually put things in. There's even ones that you can actually hook up your bank accounts and they'll monitor your spending and kind of track things for you and categorize so you can see, oh, wow, I spent $70 on coffee this week, because it's easy for that to kind of slip through the cracks and not know if you're not tracking it. So,
and not to interrupt, there are a lot of tools out there. There are a lot of free things that you can utilize that, or I guess I shouldn't say free, you're already paying for them by engaging with a bank or having an account at a certain place. Most of the banks will have that, but it's really important, even though those tools exist, it's important that you sit down and review. So commit to yourself to spend, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes a week, sitting down and reviewing what it is that you're spending on, reviewing where your money is going, when it's coming in, when it's going out, so on and so forth. That knowledge really is power. Empower yourselves to understand how to better leverage the money that you do have. If you have specific questions where we can dive a little deeper, just send us a message, give us a call, let us know what those are. We are not financial advisors, and we don't proclaim to be, but we do have a lot of experience in and around money. Clearly the industry that Brogan is in, the industry that I'm in, and we've had the opportunity to consult with those types of professionals. So we can refer you to them, but we can also probably answer some of the basics for you if you want to dive a little deeper.
All right, guys. Well, as always, have a great day. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you again for the next one.
See you soon.